Welcome back to my channel. This is Pari Luthra aka Pari by default, and I know I'm very late for this video, but here is a 3-month strategy video as we are in the final leap of your CLAT preparation. CLAT 2025 is on 1st of December and there are roughly 3 months left for the paper. Also, I have to tell you that this video is based on the assumption that your preparation has been put on gears for a while now. You have been preparing for a while. You've covered a few things. What you haven't covered, we'll run by those things in this video. And there will be another video coming up regarding the 3-month strategy, and that will be a video that will discuss how to clear CLAT in actually 3 months. That if you've just started, you're preparing from scratch, and even if you're a self-study student, that video will just adequately cover how to prepare from scratch in 3 months. But for this video, there is an underlying assumption that some part of your preparation is done, and this is a final leap sort of video for the actual 3 months that you need to be very geared up for. So without any further ado, let's just get into this video. A lot of motivation, a lot of useful content ahead, so do make sure to like, share and subscribe and watch it till the end. First things first, which not a lot of people discuss, is that what does each section require from you? What is that section asking from you? Like, what does that section actually demands? What is the skill required? So let's just go on, start with the English section, which is also known as the reading comprehension section. And the reading comprehension section has passages of about 440 words each, 440 to 450 words each, and those passages are readable in about 5 to 7 minutes. They are of the average 12 standard level of a person of that proficiency as of 12th grade can read these passages and interpret them comfortably. And so much so that is not the case with everyone, but okay, that's just the standard that the paper is assuming. And then what the English section actually demands is for you to go through the passage, go through it very thoroughly. I am not demanding or asking you to read it twice or thrice. No, you just have to give it one solid read, but that read should be enough for you to interpret three things. First of all, a main idea of the passage. Like, if it is a story, then what's the story? If it is an essay or any sort of extract, then what is that extract trying to say? Secondly, the conclusion. What are the final lines? Like, what is the actual point about it? And thirdly, contrasting ideas, if any. I mean, that rarely happens in English, but it can happen at times that there are some contrasting viewpoints of the author himself, herself. But that is something that you're required to find out. Also, there goes a lot of interpretations when it comes to English, because there are a lot of words that will be new to you, and no word power made easy won't help you. You need to understand and learn how to interpret the meaning of a certain word from the given context. So that is also something that the English section is trying to test. Now let's move on to the GK section. GK section is more of something memory based. It is something that basically the passages that come in the GK section are of almost no use. That does not mean that you're not supposed to read them, because there are answers at times. I mean, don't keep your hopes high, but there can be answers in the passage itself. Mostly they are not, and unless you're lucky like us, we had CLAT 2024, but then I don't think that will be the case this year. And also it's more memory based, and in GK, small tip, start from the month of February. Don't go much before. Don't start from January or December, and end by the half of November. That's enough. That's your GK portion. And also current affairs are the only things that are important, with contextualized historical questions. With historical questions here means the static GK that you guys popularly refer to. Basically, static GK is not something that you'll just pick up, who were the prime ministers of India from 1952 till date, or something like, the rivers, the mountains, this and that. That's useless. Don't do that. Just pick up topics, and whatever the topic demands of you to know of its historical background, that's the only static part that you're required to study. And now let's move on to the legal section. Legal section is basically expecting you to act as a judge. Basically what the legal section does is it acts on a principle and fact basis. Firstly, it gives you a passage which contains principles, which contains laws. They can be actual laws, they can be fictional laws as well. That's something that CLAT consortium likes to play with. But whatever the law may be, you have to accept it as it is. You have to make yourself believe, or get rid of your biases, believe that is the law, whatever it says is the law, and that is something that you have to apply to another set of factual situations that will be following the certain passage, the given passage. And also leave your principle or your law behind. If you've solved one passage, leave it then and there, then go to the other passage. It's not don't continue your in your head, don't mix up the principles from separate passages. That happened a lot with me. If there were two consecutive tort law passages, or if there were two consecutive consti law passages, I used to mess up a lot. So just don't do that. And next is CR. CR is critical reasoning, speaks for itself, asking you to critically think, to analyze things, to analyze arguments, to give for and against statements, to identify what the conclusion of the passage is and how to go about it. Is basically read it very thoroughly, and underline the main points. Mostly you're allowed to do that. You can mark on your question paper. Try not marking answers, but you can do the underlining part. So underline the important parts. Find out the conclusion. The conclusion is always there within the passage. Mostly, I mean not always, but mostly, 99%. So find out what the conclusion is. What is the author trying to say? If there are conflicting arguments, and if there is a main argument, how can you refute that argument? How can you support that argument? And then the series of questions just continue. And there are a few critical reasoning concepts like paradox and basically resolving the paradox. And then there is this fallacies part. But okay, fallacies has not been very evident in the CLAT paper, but you can find questions related to resolving the paradox. And paradox is basically a situation that is in stark contrast, within itself. So that's something that the paper demands, but majorly it demands you to think. It wants you to think, it wants you to analyze, it wants you to step into the author's shoes and understand what that person is trying to say, and get rid of your biases at the same time. Now maths, or the quantitative aptitude section, it also pretty much speaks for itself. It just wants you to display your mathematical skills, and those skills don't need to be very high quality, high profile skills. Basically they are of a 9th 10th grader level. That is also too much if you are from a renowned board, because even in 9th 10th they teach us a lot which is not a part of the CLAT syllabus, or not as much as of the difficulty level that CLAT is. CLAT is pretty much on the lower end of that. So maths, in my opinion, is not a very difficult section if you practice it every day. And in maths, either there is a right answer or a wrong answer. There's nothing in between, so you can't really do things about it. So that's how you have to go about these sections. Let's move on to worksheets and mocks and what to do about them. Firstly, giving mocks is very, very, very important. If you're not giving mocks, you are losing on to a major chunk of your preparation if you have not started giving mocks yet. So I'm not scaring you, but it's very important. Again, before starting to sit for mocks, or even if you've started giving mocks, you should be aware of what the actual CLAT paper has looked like. And for that we have something for you. We have the book from Oswal Books, and that is the 10 years solved papers from the CLAT and the AILET. Basically, this book not only contains 10 years solved papers, I mean that's a very very huge perk. It has like very detailed analysis, very like it gets into the nuances of it. It also contains a lot of motivation for CLAT. It also contains how to go about each subject. It contains the syllabus for each subject. It contains an additional huge set of questions along with very detailed answers for every section. And it also contains the perks and the list of NLUs, the cutoffs, and a very very detailed analysis into what topics have been asked in the past 10 years. Like they've literally made a tally chart of what topics have been asked, and you can like, obviously I'm not telling you to predict it, but you can see the pattern and predict things. So it's like, in my opinion, honestly, it's a very useful book. If I had an opportunity to get my hands on this book while I was preparing, I would have definitely done that, and I recommend you guys to do that. So check the link in the description. And while we talk about mocks and worksheets, they are really really important. Mocks, the frequency of mocks that you're giving should be once a week minimum. It can go up to twice a week at this point because 3 months are left. And sheets, you have to, like what I used to do, in my opinion, I used to solve 2 to 3 sheets per day of different subjects. And like worksheets basically contain 20 to 30 questions of the same section. If it's an English worksheet, you know how the drill is, right? And next we move on to analysis. So analysis is as important as solving questions, solving mocks or worksheets, whatever form it is. But analysis is like equally, or I would say more important, because when you don't analyze, you don't even know that what mistakes you have made. You are unaware of how to work upon those mistakes because you don't know your mistakes in the first place. You just know your score and you move on with it. That's not how you go with an exam like CLAT, because CLAT does not ask objective questions. It's a very subjective paper. It's a very rigorously comprehension based paper, and that is something that you have to keep in mind, and that is where analysis comes into play. I was a person, I'll tell you a personal story, that I was not analyzing mocks in the beginning. I was scoring in around like my 50s, 50 to 55, and my score was very constant. So I approached my mentor what to do about it. What he told me, start analyzing mocks. When I analyzed my first mock, after that mock I scored 63, directly 63 or 64 if I'm not wrong. But that's a very huge leap, right? And I started attempting more questions as well. Also on attempts, a very quick tip: if you're not attempting enough questions, there is no chance of you to scoring enough ever. Like if you'll be scared of attempts, you will never actually reach the score, because there's no possibility, right? जो question attempt ही नहीं कर रहा है उसमें marks कैसे मिल सकते हैं? Negative जाने दो. This is the time you make mistakes and you correct them, because you can't do that on CLAT day, right? You can't just go from 80 to 90 attempts and directly attempting 110 plus questions. I'm not telling you to attempt all 120 questions, but your attempts should be above 100, above 110. That's very good. And when you start increasing your attempts and you analyze the mock simultaneously, your score will definitely increase in a very significant manner. That being said, let's just move on to our next segment. A very important part of our preparation is newspaper reading. And at this point, I know if you have been preparing for a while, you really get tired of newspaper readings, and you are confused of how to go about it because you feel like it's a waste of time. It's never a waste of time. Trust me. Don't read the current affairs section. Don't read anything apart from the editorials and the opinions page. If it's, be it the Hindu, be it the Indian Express, or be it any proper renowned newspaper, proper English newspaper, I would suggest going with the Hindu or the Indian Express because they are like, very refined set of editorials and opinion pages that they contain, and that's like very helpful for your preparation in almost all the sections. If you're reading it, you're somehow getting aware, connected with current affairs also. I'm not suggesting you to make notes of current affairs from the newspaper. No, that's a big no. But you'll still stay in touch with those affairs. Again, in English and in CR, it really helps a lot. It can as well help in legal reasoning if there is an editorial or a passage about some ongoing legal issue in the nation. And at times, the issues, like the current legal issues, also manifest themselves as questions in the CLAT paper. So that can also help you a lot. And okay, that's pretty much it for this video. I know that there can be other aspects of your preparation, but this is actually a very huge chunk of how your preparation in the last 3 months should look like. Also, a little additional tip: people ask me a lot that how many hours should we study. I think it is more about what you should study than about what hours you should be putting it. Basically, you have to study GK, some part of it every day, otherwise it creates a backlog, very obvious. You should study or practice maths for at least 15 minutes every day, because that is like a must. Otherwise, you won't be able to cope up with mathematics as a section in your main exam day if you won't be able to manage time with it, and that only comes with practice. Secondly, now solve at least 2 sheets. Basically, I'm asking you to do 4 subjects in a day. You can do 3 as well if it's a hectic day or if you have things planned, but try going for 4 subjects in a day. And with GK and maths, only like reading GK, learning is enough, practicing maths is enough. But when you're going from the comprehension sections, analysis is a must. It is very important. Even sometimes in math, analysis gets important. If your answer is wrong, you should understand what went wrong and how to approach the other questions in the same set. So that's it for this video. And yeah, do check out the book from Oswal in the caption, and I'll see you in another video. Up until then, bye bye. Drop your comments, drop your questions, your queries all in the comment box below, and I'll try my best to reply to them. Bye.